Alright, we got our maze number, but I still got all these other stories to read for now. Technic and Photography, Issue 8, 1960. Report from Electronic Art Symposium. Engineers are artists in this innovative exhibition. I'm reading exposition, but that's different. Earlier this week, the exciting Electronic Art Symposium took place in Kirchsteiger Messe. The exhibition is open to everyone and hopes to show the exciting happenings in the world of electronic devices and how they can be used for more than work and calculations. Among the selected works was Lorelei Weiss, known for her puzzle boxes and recently her innovative use of computers. Her contribution caused quite a sensation as its deliberate malfunction caused some panic. Weiss is not too keen to talk about what the work of art meant. She does not want to end discussions by giving a correct answer. Veteran art critic Morris Talbot insisted it was a comment on the unreliability of technology, but concept artist Ichi Tanaka thought that Weiss wanted to show us the death of an artwork. Deliberate malfunction. Does not want to end discussions by giving a correct answer. It's interesting because talking about media in these kinds of ways, like, you can almost consider it being, like, simultaneously, like, one, you're doing what she wants by respecting it and actually interrogating it, but at the same time, you're also, like, searching for the correct answer, like, you're trying to solve it, and then essentially, like, be able to defeat and put away the art, which is its own, like, oddly reductive kind of outcome. And, like, speaking as somebody who makes video essays about media, like, there is, like, an element of, like, I'm kind of trying to solve or interpret or come up with an answer that threads through all of the elements that are apparent to us about a piece of media and interrogate it on that level. But there's a temptation to treat a video like that as an answer. And in particular, one of the frustrating things about being a video essayist, and this is true for a lot of people that do this, is that your audience will then just go on to just kind of quote your video essays at people. And this can be annoying for multiple reasons, as far as, like, how wrong it can be and how frustrating it can be to the person that's on the receiving end who knows the art themselves. Is that, one, best case scenario, just because even if you perfectly remember and understand everything, and you perfectly comprehend and blah blah blah, some dude's opinion about ways to interpret some things isn't, like, a final thing. So it's just rough when people quote YouTubers like they're the answer about something and the truth about it or something, when there's often just one way of looking at a particular thing, even if their own analysis isn't wrong and your recall of it isn't wrong. But then you have the fun variation where you have people who, like, are quoting something at people and they themselves have never engaged with the piece of media that the video was about. So to the person they're talking to, it'll quickly become really apparent that they have no idea what they're talking about. And so the things that they're saying will all be subtly off and weird and annoying. And then there's the worst case scenario, which is when the person never engages with the media that the video is about, that they're quoting, but they also don't really remember the video that well, and they say just increasingly insane things, and they're functionally, like, scapegoating somebody else for their dumb, annoying opinions that are completely baseless and also not even the correct retelling of the opinions. I've seen all these versions play out through the magic of having a Twitter account and a Discord account. You'll just witness people talk about you in third locations that are not about you. Like, it's not like you'll just in the wild, people talking about you, and then the way they talk about the stuff you made, you're like, oh, this person does not get it. Whoops. all to say that the conversation about art gets really confusing, and the people who interrogate it with some level of audience often can become too much of like the de facto narrative about something when that's not necessarily the point. Cinema Ocho, 1962. So these are all chronological. Un animale terribile review. There can be little doubt that Renzo Nero is not a filmmaker for everyone's taste. His critics find him crude yet pretentious. His latest film won't win them over, but I don't think Nero cares. Un animale terribile is, in many ways, an experiment in audience participation. A number of scenes present the audience with tough choices about what should happen next. Regardless of the audience choices in Un animale terribile, the film always ends with Lucia coming back to life. This interactive film thus makes fun of its own concept of interactivity. Nero says that this is a comment on the illusion of democracy, but it works just as well as a joke about the illusion of interactivity. We like to think that we affect outcomes, but in truth, most of us are mere spectators, superfluous, tired eyes. It's the participation that in the end makes Un animale terribile such an intense viewing. This should be essential viewing for anyone remotely interested in the development of narrative media, but be warned, it is not a pleasant film by any means. Journal du Sud, 1962, presumably later. Renzo Nero wins big in Monte Carlo, will spend the money on new film project. The director caused some mirth when he arrived in Club Rouge with a grocery bag stuffed with American dollar bills and stated that he was there to clean house. American dollar bills. One might say that the loose bills from that are floating around to this day, and I've collected about 100 of them so far. And stated that he was there to clean house. According to witnesses, Renzo Nero was in good spirits and joked with both staff and other patrons. Despite the rumors about Renzo Nero when it comes to romance, our reporter, Mrs. Melissa Dubois, caught Renzo Nero in the company of starlet Carla Romano and socialite Felicia LeVay, both drinking champagne, but the big winner celebrated with a double espresso. Were you not afraid to lose such an amount? No. First of all, it was not my money. Secondly, I had seen in the stars that I would win. There was no reason to worry. Risky business. Gambling with a production budget. If you lost, there would have been no movie. There would be no movie, but it's better to have no movie than a bad movie. I needed more money than the studio gave me. Do you think you have set an example for other filmmakers? No. It was a terrible idea that turned out very well. Casinos are crooks. I got lucky. I would recommend filmmakers to rob banks instead, because gambling is immoral. Good luck with your next picture, Mr. Nero. Thank you, Bella Melissa. It will be the one. We're restarting cinema from the beginning. To the time when celluloid was magic. Not for passing the time between hamburgers. There was a playing card hidden behind the article. Oh. Well, there's one of them. Okay, so that one's not so hard to find. Das Nordost Journal. Death at Hotel Letztes Jahr. Police are coy about details. The police are investigating a death that occurred at Hotel Letztes Jahr yesterday evening. The hotel has been closed for the season, but according to neighbors, there's been a film shoot in the weeks past. Police won't confirm that there is any correlation between the film production and the death. Kommissar Schmidt, who is in charge of the investigation, refuses to release any further information. The investigation is in a delicate phase at the moment, and therefore, the deceased's identity will not be released this time. We cannot rule out the possibility of a crime, and as such it is standard procedure to treat it like a murder investigation. The police commented earlier this morning. Presumably the person that went out the window, if that ever happened to a real person. It's hard to tell if someone's a doll or not, so I can't tell if the person in the backyard is real or not. They insisted it was a doll that one time. That was bad. So now we skip forward 20 years to the 80s. Central European Times, 1982. Report from the inside of the Third Eye movement. Cult or commune? Our reporter secretly joined the pilgrimage. I was confused when I received an invitation to an eye-to-eye session from the Third Eye movement. After some research, mostly consisting of buying fellow writers a drink, my confusion turned to excitement. The Third Eye movement is apparently a gathering of painters, musicians, composers, directors, photographers, and writers, and so I thought it was in my capacity as a Mendish Award journalist that I was invited. Jose Marie Gil, the European branch's Magnus Magister Artis, maintained that it was due to a little read collection of poetry I released back in the 60s. Jose Marie made it clear that it would not occur to him to let journalists into their midst, as journalism is a reactive craft and not a creative one. Damn. But that's me. I'm not a creative. I'm not a journalist, but I'm more like a journalist than a painter. Except for when I paint. You see, the Third Eye movement is solely for those filled with the power of creation. Something I would hear more about in the weeks to come. What I thought was a street club for the avant-garde bohemians was something entirely different. It was like being offered a seat at King Arthur's Round Table. I suddenly found myself part of a quest. Not for the Grail, but for something else. A metaphysical power? An entity? A treasure of sorts. No one knew, or wanted to tell me, but it was clear that I had, perhaps thousands of years ago, appeared somewhere in Sulawesi. The members whispered of it as a zeitgeist, and they now believed it was to be found in Central Europe. Sulawesi Cave. Art Filter, Issue 2, 2014. Where are they now? Lorelei Weiss. Our search for the elusive computer image innovator who never entered the spotlight. Unearthing obscure artists is the archaeology of the 21st century. Whether it's a long-dead naivist painter from Sweden, a minimalist composer from Latvia, or a mediocre Edwardian horror writer, they were all dug up and put on display. Obscurity adds value to a body of work, and by digging it up, we deprive them of that value. But the thing about Lorelei Weiss's most interesting art is that it can't be sold, because no one really knows if it exists anymore. Gallery owner Gaston Rousseau pours us a coffee in his apartment in Paris. Last year, he started to research the possibility of doing an exhibition which would act both as tribute and retrospective of the eclectic artist. He had hoped to recreate her lost art with the help of Weiss herself, and today's most admired names in computer art. She was the Gauguin of the electronic era, Rousseau tells Art Filter. If all of Gauguin's work had been burned, that is. Weiss had an elusive figure even when she was in zenith, but after the Neo affair, for which she sadly is most remembered, few have met her. Through Rousseau's network in the art world, he managed to track her down in Hamburg, and swiftly traveled to arrange a meeting with her. I was too late. I had such big plans. Maybe I was a fool to believe that I could create a renaissance for a long-forgotten electronic art pioneer, Rousseau says. The old woman I met could hardly see, let alone speak. It didn't look like she had much time left. Brutal. Connected 2022. Very recent now. The Internet Mystery of the OCU3. Truth or fake? we dive deeper into the modern myth of the 1960s supercomputer. We have all heard the story by now. In Augenwaldburg, where entrepreneurs Mick, Otto, and Rob Gieb are building a Euro funland, complete with golf courses, spas, and restaurants, a construction worker came upon a computer believed to be from the 1960s, the OCU-3. First found in what was the basement of the old mansion, which previously stood on the grounds, it was later sold at a flea market, and eventually ended up in the hands of an anonymous individual known as Pewty on several forums. Pewty, then, claims to have managed to reconstruct parts of the data on the OCU-3. We've all seen the results on the internet, we've all been astonished by it, and we've all asked ourselves the same questions. Was this type of technology available in the 1960s? Could an entire interactive retrospective be made, or even fit, on the primitive devices of the time? In the coming weeks, we will try to answer these questions and dive deeper into the mystery of the OCU-3. So now we're even unpacking the apparent anachronisms of the game and poking at that mess. Because I think some part of the reasons why earlier on I was like, when even are we and what's happening was because there was inherent contradictions to the apparent timeline. It's that one painting of the skull with the fruit or something. That's like a kind of famous painting. Alright, so I can go earn one more card. Or specifically, I can trade one more card for one more key. And it's not like it's doing me any good as a card. Coffee hardly feels worth it for the most part, but this is probably the moment to do it, is when you're gonna run all the way out here. Whoops. But in those situations, you'd probably want to actually... Ah, damn it. I bumped the trigger. Which also counts as the one button. Because the game has one button. Unless you count start, which is pause. The card of luck. Whoa! Use it wisely, sister. That one's hard to even identify as being a club key. I would never think that that was meant to be the card suit clubs, unless it was specifically in a stack of keys that all more resembled the other suits. It's just a diamond-shaped key that is split into windows, like windows. It's tempting to just go right in there and use my new answer, because I've been wanting it for so long. But the other thing is that at any point, any of these other places I investigate might have the other answers, for all I know. Ah, the club door. It's right out here. Yeah, I might as well use my key cards first, because they'll give me information that I might use elsewhere too. Did I call that number? 1963 on the phone. This goes back outside. One of the two side flanks we've been waiting all game to open. That's kind of nice. There does not appear to be a gate to open as a shortcut to the outside. It's locked. The man. Huh. The entire papers and magazines menu is just all in this one spot. There it is. The typewriter. It was the one that was next door. Okay, so those are definitely the two icons that are on the two locks that I don't know how to open yet. Years are numbers, and numbers are money. Words generate money, so we must be able to apply math to words. This new ideology has allowed me to solve this game completely. First magic word equation. First, you must assume that we are all fellow Americans. We all speak English. Hotel Letztes Jahr. Hotel last year. I'm like, first of all, man, being an American doesn't mean you speak English. Anyway. The third eye fell from the sky over 1,000 years ago. 1,000 years ago. The first magic word. Last year equals the first magic word. 1,000 years ago equals the first magic word. Last year minus the first magic word equals laser. Last year minus the first magic word. L-A-S. And then E-R. So T-Y-A? Oh, T-Y-A equals the 1,000 years ago. Equals the first magic word. So if you remove the letters in laser, you get T, Y, and A. But that's by the girl, so it's probably not this one. Second magic word. Renzo plus L plus O equals Lorenzo. Uh-huh. I guess. Hotel minus O minus L is the second magic word. HTE. If the second magic word transforms to 1, 2, 3, then 2 and 3 equals the. HTE. We are not in a hotel. We are not in the last year. We're not in last year. We are the last year. This is only seen through laser eyes. I don't know what to make of the insane conclusion, but yeah, I guess I understood HTE at the time. It just sounded like nonsense to me, but we'll see if HTE works now that I'm actually here. Yep. Alright, so then TYA is the other one. You okay, bud? Weren't you, dead? Didn't really expect you to just, like, come back to appearing all the time. Signorina, please concentrate on one puzzle at a time. As you can see, you've gotten me into trouble. Quite the metaphor you have created, Signorina. An escape artist who cannot break free from capitalism. Now, release me, please. Photos taped to the man's back. Just some jacket. Looking at the collar, it seems to match the statues. A tall collar inside of another collar. 8 buttons. Don't know what you're supposed to do with that. Unlock the chains. Ugh. I'm just gonna guess Lorenzo because it fits, and they just showed me some guy. Lorenzo. Okay, yep. I guess that was it. Got a little scared when I saw just such a large code. Grazie. Now that we are on our way to freedom from the monetary system, we can get back to the project. The man on this cassette is perfect for our needs. A cassette for the TV. They do exist. I will see you soon, Signorina. Please focus on one thing at a time. How dare you interfere with me opening doors? All right, 14. Can you find the hidden number? God, I hate it. There's definitely a 3. And there's a 4. The 4 in the middle left kind of hooked into another 4. I don't get it. Is there like a small number written somewhere, like just in plain text? Because that'd be pretty funny. Yeah. I honestly can't see anything else. There's a 3. Is the answer just 3? 1, 2, 3. It is. Considering the ones I get stuck on, like it's just... I'm never sure if it's something more complicated or not. So I'm like, here's a giant maze. Oh, there's a 3 in it technically. Maybe the other ones didn't count because they were rotated or something. And that was the only one that was upside up. 80%! Look at us go! We're falling behind schedule compared to what I said before, though. I should have been approximately hitting 80% at the end of last episode, and not at the... not like half an hour into this one. Womp womp. Surprisingly long game. Oops. Things are currently opening up, though. We've overcome some of the goofy ah, shit, I can't go this way. I went this way thinking it was the shortcut. Not really a shortcut, but just like a reasonable path over, but yeah, there's a hole. But at this point, I've opened up enough shortcuts that I can mostly walk around like a normal house, but just going to the right floor and then going towards the spot that says it has the thing. There's a few surprises like that hole to get in my way. Yeah, so we have a cassette. I have 2 more doors to try still. Any other stuff that comes from that process. And gotta remember that I have at least 1 more answer for the maze and whatever that might give me next, including the doors including the locks that the keys that I need for the remaining rooms that have the art installations for the puzzle boxes. Ah. $1. Wow. I like dollar. Do you like dollar? Pinboard. It's full of incomplete and short notes. Fake gun. Body moved. Americans. R N equals L. Renzo Nero equals Lorelei. It's spelled out in the summarizing kind of way that's like, it reminds me of the way that people would, like, in an anti-spoiler kind of way, throw out like a certain Game of Thrones spoiler. There's a file marked case 630113RN. Autopsy report. Polizei. Yep, 630113RN. Hotel Letztes Jahr, 1963. Cause of death. The subject has a substantial visible fracture in the os frontal. The fracture has caused a severe injury on the frontal lobe. The injury is lethal, but in all likelihood the cause of death is the cervical fractures in vertebrae C2 and C3 respectively. However, the death from circulatory shock due to the extraction of the bulbous oculi cannot be completely ruled out. Okay, that sounds like an eye was ripped out then. I believe that's what that means. A lot of bad things happened to this one person, including their eyes being removed and then falling out a window, I think. The extraction wounds in the orbita have been caused by a sharp non-surgical instrument. The wounds inside the orbita are similar to those made from a pocket knife. The wounds could be self-inflicted or by someone else. Given the amount of glass found on and inside the subject, there cannot be any doubt that the subject crashed through the window on the 3rd floor. It is unlikely, but possible, that the subject fell through the window due to the impact needed to crush the glass. Therefore, the subject most likely either jumped through the window or was pushed. Comments. Death by illness or accident is unlikely due to the evidence at hand. Subject either committed suicide or was the victim of manslaughter, murder, involuntary manslaughter. Yeah, they're saying that the window's sturdy enough that they didn't just accidentally fall out it. Interrogation transcript. Date of reports, 1963. 10 years after the puzzle box date. Kommissar Schmidt. When did this change in behavior start? He was eccentric when I arrived, and then his mental state took a turn for the worse after a phone call from the production company. Were you frightened by him? Not at first, no. But at some point you did find him frightening. Yes, I did. In what way? Did he make you uncomfortable? Excuse me, Fraulein. He played with his revolver, and his thoughts were very dark. This is follow-up to the script that we read that was being thrown at us by Maze Man. Evidence submission form. (1963), January 13th to 16th. Items submitted for examination. Espresso cup. Revolver. Playing card. Glass shards. Letter. All of those are familiar. Result of examination. Red paint was found on item A, B, C, and D. Blood from the deceased was found on item D. Exact model or owner of item B could not be identified. Presumed to be pre-war Italian model. So everything has red paint on it except for the glass that has real blood. Oh. Ace of diamonds. Okay, so that's all of our cards then. 2 of the cards were in the other card rooms. Investigation report. Date of report, January 14th, 1963. Polizeibeamter Andreas Coleman. Arrived at Hotel Letztes Jahr a quarter past midnight. 15 minutes after midnight. Yes. Yes. I wasn't crazy. These were answers I didn't have yet at the time. Okay. I'm just happy to find the answer because that means I don't have to go through all my documents trying to find a name I might have forgotten at some point because, dear lord, there's so many documents. He was there greeted by in the foyer. Was in a state of shock about the eyes. After being calmed, showed the officer on site the place of the incident. It's probably Renata. The deceased was found on the gravel path, lying face down. The legs were facing the house. The deceased's right arm was folded beneath body while the left arm was stretched out. A pool of blood had formed beneath the body, and the deceased had visible severe head injuries. The deceased had, in addition, severe injuries to... Shards of glass were scattered on the body and around the same. Upon closer inspection, there was additional red liquid near the body, which was believed to be red paint. There were 4 playing cards discovered in the inner pockets of the deceased. A second-floor window above the body had been shattered. The deceased was dead upon arrival of Polizeibeamter Andreas Coleman. The deceased was identified by witness as citizen according to the deceased and inflicted upon, and then just so all the actual facts about what people think happened and who even identified anyone and who even the deceased are is all redacted to be annoying. Case dismissal order. Dismissed on May 14th. 4 months after the death, I think. Oh, at 4 months and a year, because 1964. No definitive proof of foul play has been discovered in conjunction with the death of... The physical evidence points towards... It has been established that suffered a manic psychotic breakdown. There have been conflicting professional opinions on whether the stab wounds could have been self-inflicted, but the majority state that frenzied state might be given the necessary willpower to inflict the injuries upon. Further interviews with witness have cleared the doubts surrounding her involvement in death. Therefore, no further measures will be taken in the case. So the clear implication here is that these are all notes talking about Renata witnessing the death of Nero, or the man, Renzo. And there's a chance that all the redaction is an opportunity for them to mislead us and surprise us with a twist, but it also could just be them obsessively clearing documents or identifying features in some sort of like realistic way or something. I don't know. The file is marked case 630113RN. Autopsy report. Okay. Is the same documents. I think I'm interacting with the table, yeah. And this was the corkboard. Oh, right, that was the stuff. Right, that came and went quickly. I forgot that I'd pivoted over. Okay. Whoops. Well, given that I have 2 separate answers, I'm inclined to get some mirror progress real quick before I go back down to the wagon, get the last key, and then have access to the other 2 rooms. Because I can now clear every answer that was blocking me in the mirror world. I'd like to see how much further I can get and whether or not I can unlock the remaining keys for the rooms that I can't get for the art pieces yet. But also, it'll be helpful if I'm already wondering about certain answers to questions I don't know the answers to yet when I find any future information that might tell me them. Well, this does technically involve more trips to this room. it'll help me answer any future questions I get stuck on if I am actively looking for the information when it's presented to me. If it's information I don't have yet, which itself is a gamble, of course, so who knows. Because the game is non-linear enough that I can't guarantee at all what order information will come to me with respect to when it's requested of me. Especially with like some of these elements that I've just like, those elements I've been stuck on because of a minor miscommunication or a minor missed detail. In some of these cases, it's been waiting for me to progress for like 10 hours, and I've not made progress on that particular thing and just done other stuff. And it could have done that all along, so the game seems exceedingly non-linear to the point where it'd be hard for me to say what the gates are that on progress. Alright, so I think this is How Late After Midnight. Andreas Coleman, and we now know that he arrived 15 minutes after midnight. Correct. We have more space to explore. Hugging the left wall for now. In part because I think it might lead me to the person that I'm missing. Hello! If he dreamed me, then this key must not be mine. Guess there's a lock. Not a lock, but a man blocking my path. That's the last door. Okay, just double checking. So I believe I've completely explored this little area already, and we're ready to just go forward again. Play safe and never pass. Gamble to pass or perish. Which room did the dead woman's key lead to? Spare me. Okay, well, I still have it here, and it's called the Dead Woman's Key. 1847. Right. Okay. Well, that's one mystery gone, kind of. This whole time I was like, why is... What am I supposed to do with the blood by her name? But the blood by her body that spells out a number. I'm like, what's up with that? I forgot that it was literally because the key she gives you turns into 1847, the number. And I believe it's somewhere in the top right corner. Yep, room 1847. It's her room. So this should be pretty accurate. I believe. Risk my life, brother. 1847, which I think is also the code being projected even bigger now on the floor behind the big wall we removed. So something's just up with this year. Correct. Hugging the left wall. Oop. If I am but a story, this key must not be mine. 1982. So that's big. I think I found all of them then. There's a new exit. And now I'm going up the right wall. Play safe and never pass. Gamble to pass or perish. In which 2014 issue of Art Filter can you read the article about Lorelei Weiss? Well, this should be easy. Lorelei Weiss. Art Filter, issue 2. Don't surprise me by killing me, please. Correct. There we go. We still need to find the other guy again, too, that had the other question that I can now answer. Which must be all the way back in some other direction at this point. These get mighty disorienting. This is just like a big grid cluster of basically dead ends. There's another guy. Oh goodness, suddenly there's a ton of them around here. Okay. And there's an exit. Before I engage with this question gauntlet, let's maybe save real quick before I blow it somehow. I am a big fan of not losing progress. Many know this about me. But yeah, at some point I'll have to backtrack to the question that I missed. That I know the answer to now. Because I want credit for Dusseldorf. Play safe and never pass. Gamble to pass or perish. This is unskippable. How many paintings are included in the work Himmelskorper? Getting rid of all these being marked as new. Mystic symbols not okay. Yeah, this is there's 7 because there's 7 days in the week. It's the planets. It's the one to the left on the second floor. We are currently zooming through this. This is a dead end, right? With $1. And that's enough dollars for the story. So now I can now buy everything that I know that I want, at least so far. Play safe and never pass. Gamble to pass or perish. How many mannequins stand in the room behind the revolver door? Oh. Well, now I know there's mannequins behind the revolver door. Spare me, brother. I have not found the key to the revolver door, which might be a revolver. But I have not found a revolver. Play safe and never pass. Gamble to pass or perish. What date in January was the first Monday of 1847? What? Okay. So it could be anywhere between January 1st through 7th, basically. So numbers 1 through 7. The first Monday of 1847. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it's not days of the week or anything. It's just the lunar phases divided into the quarters. And like, I don't think we can correlate those with days of the week yet. This doesn't tell us about a specific year. That's just the zodiac. Like this one's this one that's specifically 1847, but what do I do with that? I don't think that the day of the week is tied to moon phases in any real way. (1847). Okay, so a lot of these notes are your brother notes are signed around January in 1847. So these might tell me what day the first Monday was. Did you just looking for the word Monday anywhere? My eye is kind of getting dry it out. I arrived at Blah yesterday. A bond between us. I don't think the word Monday is showing up in these, and we're already out of the range of the first 7 days of that period, but it's like it feels like so specific that these are set then. Oh, I have a lot more visions coming, apparently. That was my first vision. So we only just unlocked that category, finally. After a lot of these entire categories are completely filled in. I'm clearing these out. There we go. Everything's marked as red now. So there's 4 stories in that area, and that's a whole category of its own. Visions are their own category, but there's like a whole lot more of those coming. Oh, an encouraging amount of these menus are full. But I don't know how else we're supposed to find information about 1847. The lunar phases. Yeah, those are obviously the 1950s. Where'd all the posters go? Magic posters. Oh, the Vermilion Tears. We have some context for those now, don't we? Playing cards. These don't have years on them. about when their date is happening. Yeah, I don't think we have any information on this one. What date is in January was the first Monday of 1847? The funny thing is, like, you could probably just Google this. Spare me, brother. And I don't even mean that in, like, the looking up answers way of a video game. I mean, like, it's presumably the same answer as it is in real life. So it's probably extremely Googleable. Play safe and never pass. Gamble to pass or perish. How many journeyed in silk and tattered rags, in gilded wagons and on bloody souls? Silk robes and tattered rags and gilded wagons and on bloody souls. I don't remember this one. I don't know if I have it already or not. It's a reference to... Right, I should be writing the thing down. First Monday of January, 1947. How many robes, rags, wagons, souls? Did I leave another question unanswered that I forgot about? Just kind of remembering that I should be making notes about these so I can at least spare my brother. So I can try to keep the question fresh in my head as I potentially uncover its answer. That's part of the process. Play safe and never pass. Gamble to pass or perish. How many items were submitted for examination in case 630113RN? I believe it's 5. A, B, C, D, E. Right. We are once again correct. I'm always suspicious it's going to go bad somehow. Yeah, I think this is a messy chunk of grid where a lot of these people might kind of all point the same place. I'm not sure. At least some of these people seem like they're equally valid options for going to the same place, basically. There's 2 more here. Play safe and never pass. Gamble to pass or perish. How many statues stand by the Minotaur below the red maze? What? Okay, first there's a Minotaur, apparently. I mean, a labyrinth needs a Minotaur, I guess. They've probably read House of Leaves at this point. Below the red maze. Oh, you could go below the red maze in the sewer. I don't remember the Minotaur, though. I don't even know if I went to that side of the place. Minotaur below red maze. How many statues? Gotta remember how to even get there. I haven't been there since the first time it came up, basically. That T in statues looks weird. You know, a lot of things are kind of slowly moving around, actually, and warping, yeah. Spare me, brother. Play safe and never pass. Gamble to pass. Or perish. What year is MMXIV? 2014? 2000, 2010, 2014. Yeah, that's easy. It's also one of the years that keeps coming up. How deep are we now? Correct. We've been getting through a lot of these. He's just guarding $1. God damn it. Well, don't I feel foolish now? Alright, well, this person's question is going to be a challenge. I got really deep into this particular process, but never found the guide that had the other questions. That must have been much earlier. And he himself might have been guarding a dead end. Which can be frustrating its own way, but I think I want to find him. Doesn't mean I'm gonna have to navigate all the way here again later. I got 2 keys to doors, so I arguably have everything I need besides whatever's at the middle of the maze. But we also don't fully know what's in here. There might still be more old ladies that give you more keys that just aren't to those doors, although that would be a format break, so it seems kind of unlikely. Boy, do I get lost in here. I just want the guy to pat me on the head for knowing the answer to his riddle. There he is, probably. Play safe and never pass. Gamble to pass. Or perish. What year did the exhibition take Düsseldorf? 1953. I can finally say the answer unless I got it wrong. Correct. Yay! Alright, let's cross that one out. Can stop worrying about that one. Okay, now the entire original set of questions I wrote down is all crossed out, because I got all those ones down. But I have 3 new ones written down that I haven't answered. Let's double check whether or not this... yep. As you can see from that dollar being gone, I've been on the other side of this guy before. So it's not, it's a pretty optional victory. Let's just find a door to leave, since I can walk all the way back to where the questions were to help out future me, but otherwise there's no real reason to stick around. Might as well just take the closest door and get out. And save. And enjoy my proggers. 82.1. That seems familiar. I'm actually not sure if... I'm not sure if those guys even give you percentages or not, to be honest. Let's see. Gonna head this way. Yep. I might as well go back to Lorenzo, because I can afford the final story, and I have one more key to trade in. So that's a worthwhile trip. Kind of unnecessarily traded in the card for a key earlier when I was going to so quickly get the next one, apparently. But you're not here to see me do the right thing, you're here to see me do a lot of things. The Ace of Diamonds, the card of wealth. Use it wisely, sister. And so we have 2 more rooms to explore, or 4, considering the 2 new numbered keys we have too. You have been a wonderful audience. Oh, bye. I briefly was worried that they were going to kick me out without me getting to do this guy too. The disappearing woman for $10. And so I am reduced to 1. Ow, my foot. Your support keeps the arts alive, sister. Now please, brace yourself. Your journey has been long to get here. Come closer, and I will tell you the final story, which we will tell in this forest. This is the tragic story we call The Last Dream. Not long ago, there was an old artist who looked into a red mirror. In the mirror, she saw a young woman, and with her, a man, looking for a long-lost treasure. The old artist painted them a treasure map, which led them to a faraway place. Together, they found the treasure known as the Third Eye. But in the shadows of the treasure lived a beast, which decided to hide in the shadows of the man. Not long had the beast lived in the shade till it grew hungry, and devoured the man and his soul. To escape the beast, the woman shattered the red mirror and flew through it. On the other side, she met the old artist. The old artist opened her eyes one last time as the young woman told her the tragic story of the Third Eye. He just stands there and holds my money forever. In the past stories, I am shown as being the young woman with the young man. And so it's interesting that I am still showing up as the same person, but now we're here with the old artist, the old woman in the bed. We've repeatedly been reminded that's Lorelei Weiss at an older age. Nope, you can't put the eye in this. Gotta remember this video cassette too. We have a puzzle that indicates what order to interact with those headstones, which seems like an easy enough puzzle. But I don't think we have the item we need to do so. Because nothing seems to interact there. Okay, a VHS is fun, so let's find where that is. So caffeine and bladder is funny. Temperature is funny. Like, if I put my jacket on, am I listed as being hotter? I am. So you can just walk around with your jacket on if you want, and it just says that you're hotter. It's just very funny to me. I have no idea if that affects anything. Computers. Do I even remember where the TV was? Can I recognize what it looks like anywhere? It's from an earlier part of the game where I had such fewer things to even interact with. I believe those kinds of icons are the computers, not the TV. Those are the safes from the early puzzle. God, do I just need to re-explore the building? I haven't even, like, stumbled into that room for a while. I vaguely remember that it had a door on the right side of the room, and it was a long room. Yeah, I really don't know where it is. Okay, well. Oh, loft storage is locked. I don't remember what's locking that one anymore. Here, I should probably do the other lady's lock before I forget about that one. There's the two locks that have the weird code that I've now figured out. This was TYA 1,000 years ago, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I've actually got a lot to juggle here. It's easy to forget how many things I now know. Because I got a lot of actionable information very quickly that I haven't followed up on yet. So, 2 new card suit key doors, 2 new year doors, a cassette, and this. So this is at least off the list. Ladder's not extended. Okay, we'll extend it. Really? Oh, there's a lever over there. Okay. It's hiding behind the diamond door, which, I mean, I have that, I guess. So I guess we'll do that one next. Then I can extend the ladder. Three-digit combination in my way now. Of some kind. Oh. 1847. 2014. Is that me right now? I think so. Alright, puzzle 4. A strange man walks into a cafe. He wears a black suit and sunglasses. He sits down by your table and whispers, "I have a message for you. Meet me here for breakfast 210 degrees after 0. You know the number, yes?" Then quickly leaves again. Okay, so it's just the clock in terms of 360 degrees. 360 degrees divided by 6 is 60, right? Yeah, so that answer divided by 60. Divided by 6, essentially. Ugh. 180 is 6 o'clock, so 30 degrees past 180 is 1/6 past 180, so 7. I think it's just 7. Yep. Alright. We've got a ton of these opened up now. Alright, I have not successfully opened the balcony I've been trying to open, though. 'Cause I don't know what that combo is for. This is a balcony overlooking the main room. There's a bit of a wonder whether or not you can lower the chandelier or something, maybe, because it's happened before. But it does seem like it's genuinely just a dead-end little balcony that does nothing, at least for now. (1847, 2014). The other one seemed to maybe say minus 1847. So it might be 2014 minus 1847 is the 3-digit code. So we know it's 100 for the 1900s. Plus... So 53 plus 14. 153, 157, 167. I think. Is how that comes out. I did it backwards, didn't I? I just recognized the orientation of the numbers. Yep. Alright, nailed it. I was able to interpret what the hell they wanted from me in there. Ha ha ha. That's a violent dropping of a ladder. Hope no one's down there. Red paint again, unless it's not. I feel like they're just required to put $1 in every single room of the game. And that's just like what they did there. Only 6 quiz club questions. So the 3 I wrote down and 3 more. And only 3 shortcuts. of which I think one of them I couldn't solve so far, and the other ones maybe not so. A lot of the dollars overall. I'm missing $1 in the prototypes. I guess the prototypes must be the video games. Those are even harder to find because they just they glow on the floor, but only when you walk over them. Only have half the red maze. The other mausoleum dollars are probably inside the mausoleum. The hotel's at 42 out of 45. Oh, Teatro Rosso. That's probably where I saw it before. Got all of those, which wasn't much of a thing. Only 3 left in the entire hotel, so we're very close to having complete exploration of this place. We are rapidly nearing the end. Is that a hotel dollar or an outside dollar? Hi. You have kept me locked up for 51 years. Is it not time to let me go, Signorina? Aw, poor guy. Maybe, I don't know. He did feel like he was gonna shoot me. And that he barely missed shooting me. Running out of these? Oh god. Which number is hidden in the underlined sentence? 1847, 1963, 2014. Kisralis Ralisorovit Tiboli Major Manesor Sitter Koratusiki Godaruford Ko Rosande Efilda Raviolin. Do you like raviolis? Yeah. Högskolesch Lagande Tipsur Bandilje. I don't... No. Okay, this is goofy. It's the number of dots. Kiss has 1 dot. Relissoravit has 8 dots, including the umlauts and the eyes. And so on. Tiboli has 4. Manisora has 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's an important one. 2 of the ones that make up the 7 are punctuation. So the punctuation counts. So going by that, Högskoleskande has 1, 2 above the U, 1, 2 above the A. Is there a single I? No. So the first, so it's 4. The one has 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the number should be 44, I think. That went from completely hopeless to, wait a minute. That's a very funny breakthrough. Yup. Yup. I'm back, bitches. And that takes us, yep, this is the one shortcut in the cellar that leads to the elevator. Been waiting for that to come up for a while. Turns out it was a prison this whole time that he was stuck behind. It's locked. A photo's taped to the door. Renata, right? They seem to be testing us on our knowledge of these characters. And one of the funny details is that the number of letters is kind of a hint. Even if you're kind of lost. Yep. You are as merciful as the bear-eating salad, Bella. Grazie. Finally, we can start to wrap up this project. I have settled for the Madonna on this cassette. I need to find the room where you play these fucking cassettes. Now I have two. I will see you soon, Senorina. An American dollar, of course. Oh, find video cassettes objective is just completed. I guess that was every video cassette. Sure, why not? So we're still looking for the club door. Should probably do that next just so I can stop looking for doors. Card doors. Did I already open this one and forget? Just doing a big once over of every map just for any card suit icons at all. There's a couple of locked doors, some of which will be the ones I'm looking for. Maybe I already used the club card somehow and just forgot? I don't know. So I imagine these were ultimately where the 9 women were that give you a card, or give you a key. That would make sense that we're potentially done with them. The last bit of maze guides me towards the middle. But I have more answers to uncover before that. I don't remember using all 4 keys. Huh. Well, let's go top to bottom maybe, so floor 2. Now it's time to clear out the entire building. So this time I'm figuring out my answer in terms of a long box. All in a sequence. 1973. Extending my table on my page, because I have not added to this page for a while. Lorelei Weiss, 1973. Mixed media installation. With a simple brush stroke, the artist shows us the importance of art. Whether young or old, big or small, our lives are not complete without it. This seems to be the theory of 1973. With a simple brush stroke, the artist shows us the importance of art. Whether young or old, big or small, our lives are never complete without it. Let's see if this will make sense to me. Looks like we're going to be parallel scrolling. I guess I have to figure out what number each one is. That might be an 8, the kind of stylized. 4, 9, maybe. Because 4 faces the other direction, right? So that's a 9. No, that's a 9. 0. 3. 7. All right. Same rules as usual. So I found the number 7. The number 7 is in slot 0. The 10, the final one. This is just a really weird 3, I guess, but that'd be slot 9. I'm looking for, and now I'm looking for 1 and 9. How do you make a 1 out of a slash? That's definitely 9. 0, 9, 8, 7. So 9 is at 7. 1973. We're looking for 1 now. That's got to be a 4 if that's a 9, because that's definitely not a 4. It's the 8. 2. 5? Was there already a 5? 6? That's the really weird one. Oh, it's a 1, because it's the little serif on top. So I guess 1 is 1. 1709, if I'm right. Which I can now check, thankfully. Let's see. Especially if I can tell where I am at all. Alright, we're looking for a very long one. Maybe might be this one. Yep. Okay, so I count this side as 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 0, 9. There we go. Can already cross that one out. We're real close to be done with these ones now. Indeed, her own body of work had been entangled with the tragedy. She completely disappeared from the world of art, and many believe she had passed away. But in 1973, she briefly resurfaced and worked on the project Ludus for display on Alemayu Eunice's gallery in Paris. It was a multifaceted project, combining sculptures, cameras, and interaction between objects and the audience, he recollected in an interview with Art Filter. The result was stunning, but I could sense that there was something wrong. She never came to the opening of the show. In fact, I never saw her again. One last performance, basically. Or maybe not a performance when it's an art exhibit. I'm wondering what the point is of solving all this room. Like, puzzles for the sake of puzzles and completion for the sake of completion, sure. I'm just not sure how this room will cause anything when I finish the puzzles, because they're all disparate articles I'm unlocking one by one. I almost wonder if Lorelei's puzzles are themselves optional. We can go upstairs, then loop around to the right, I guess. And see if we can finally unlock whatever is going on with this room. $1982. That's the last one. A television. Okay. 1982. Let me write that down real quick. Every day we visit parallel realities on our screens. In 1982, the artist employs this idea to show us how we can perceive the same space in different ways. The work itself leaves us wondering about which is the most true, the reality around us, or the one on our screens. Pwah, pwah, pwah. This one seems annoying. Okay, well this one defies recording a little bit. Let's draw a TV screen. Going from the front. 1, 8, 9, 7, 4, 6. 1, 4, 8, 6, 0, 9, 3, 7, 8, 6, 0. Fuck, it's going so fast. 1, 4, 8, 6, 0, 9, 3, 7, 5, 6, 0, 9, 3, 7, 5, 2, 1. Sure. Let's take the elevator back down. Alright, I'm gonna see if I can translate that into usable answers. What I did is I tried writing them in a circle around a TV, like a clock. But, as you might have noticed, there's a weird number of numbers. There's not enough for an actual clock, because that's 12 numbers. But it's also not cleanly divisible, like, oh, cardinal directions and other directions. Oh, that'd be 8 numbers, right? So, compass rose? No, there's 10 numbers. As far as I can tell, 1 is the one on the front, and then rotating around it clockwise, it's like 1, 4, 8, 6, 0, 9, 3, 7, 5, 2. I'm just gonna hope that's enough. Okay. Slight struggle. They're, so let's say this is 1. Because, yeah, it's hard. I guess it's not as clear which one's in the front while it's spinning. I guess neither of them's in the front. So let's take the one that's slightly to the left as being 1. 9 is, says 4, 8, 6, 0, 9. I'm going back to 8. The one that's 2 to the side of 1. And going to 2, which is the other one in front. Okay, nailed it. Delphine Peteof, member of the cult avant-garde band Dystopist, was one of the many who had joined... Oh, that's the band Dystopist. Was one of the many who joined the Third Eye, and like many, Peteof left in the big exodus after the infamous pilgrimage to Sulawesi in 1982. She seemed too sharp to believe in this stuff the rest of us had fallen for. She acted as if she searched for buried treasures, but she had something hopeless in her eyes. Those eyes. How far did they see? Dystopist. Okay, well, I remember that one of the things that the old lady asks about is a band. So I think that the reason why you solve all these puzzles is tied to finally getting the questions you ask the old lady. I think that's what you're going for here. So otherwise you just get these documents and then it just stops, and not all of them are going to be useful for the quiz club, and I don't even know how important the quiz club is. Amusingly, I don't have the cleanest idea of what the critical path even is. Look at that! The entire most recent page is cleared. So every new objective I've gotten lately has been taken out. Very cleanly. Oh god, for 3 pages straight. My most recent failure is unlock shortcut 8. That's the most recent thing that I've unlocked as a new objective that I haven't then cleared. It's the one. It's the place by the coffee place, isn't it? Then the revolver door, shortcut 5, the mausoleum. Okay, we have not been adding to my plate today. I've been cleaning up everything that I find. That's pretty cool. That. Dystopist. Why then I? Dystopist. It's like the character cap, probably. Oh. I would guess that these give me the visions. So these are all cleared out. The 1982 memory. Okay. I was right that it makes sense based on the menu that this is where the remaining visions will go, but I thought they'd be like a vision. I'm getting glyphs. They're nice enough to tell me which memory it's from, so I don't have to guess later. I guess biographies are books, but it feels weird that these are hidden at the bottom of this menu. Let's try Ludus. Yeah, Yuna is one of the things she says, right? This is Yuna's art installation. Yep. Well, that looks wild. Annoyingly, you can't, Just press up to scroll and skip to the other side. Guerrero. Guerrero. The funny thing is I'm not really checking her messages or what she mutters about right now. I'm just like, what's the word that seems like the key word in each one? And I'm getting away with that at the moment. No, 4 up, 1960. Command. Or Joe? Wow, I'm really on top of it. Relatively low context guesses of just looking for the word that seems important. Five. Sict. It's a rather intense case of laser eyes. It's doing a whole laser show. It's probably the cafe. Rotaugen. Ooh. A few of them are in quotes, but some of them are definitely not. Because that time the puzzle boxes were in quotes, and that was not what was important. And I'm like, that doesn't sound like a keyword to me at all. 7. Portrait, presumably of her father. Harold, I remember him. 1948. I think it's yeah, she says father and mother at one point, I think, right? So Harold. Oops. Aunt, mother, father. Damn it. I don't know what we do with these. They do look like sequences. What I'm noticing is that each time we get one of these, the symbols that we're getting are not similar to the symbols for the other ones, but they are similar to each other, and they kind of look like a sequence, like a growing thing or something. Her parents started to work. This is the aunt one, right? Aunt Barbara. No surprise spelling this time. Barbara. Just kind of Barbara. Got stuck in a loop there and typed something stupid for a second there. Yeah, see how these look like some kind of sweet sequence? Like you can almost like figure out like their logical order in 1, 2, 3, 4 or something. I imagine we solve these going forward. Edith. Edith Weiss is the mom. It should be our last question. And there we go. I guess that's all of them. I'm a little disappointed that we didn't get to talk to her more. I definitely was hoping to find certain pieces of information and having those jog memories and have like stories or conversations with her, so I'm a little sad that I just blitzed through the entire process in a few minutes after having solved those other puzzles, and that's just all it really was. Well, now we have them collected. You have an empty one, a one with a little bit, one with a little more, and then one with a fair amount. It's like a vial filling with water. So if I were to come up the sequence, I would be like 2, 3, 1, 4. This one's harder to say because I don't know if a full square with no lines or half a square triangle is first. But this is like a tiny square, then the square gets longer, then wider. It gets growing. This is just how many hashtags there are. Although comparing 3 and 4 is a little hard to parse. This one's definitely 1, 3, 4, 2. Sort of like drawing its way towards becoming 2. I guess 3, 4... Might be 3, 4, 1, 2? This one's weird. Yeah, so some of them get a little complicated. This one seems like 1, 4, 3, 2. One, 4, 3, 2. Well, I caught up on percentage. I was lagging behind on my 10% per episode rate, and we're pretty much there again, actually. It's funny. I guess being able to spam through that process would certainly do that. The loft has one more locked door. To get there, I have to loop back around, I think. Actually, yeah, we're up here where he was, so I can go into his side room and get upstairs this way. We have not been up here much. Nah, it's the revolver door. Ocelot. So we're still waiting to find where the revolver door key is, which is probably some kind of revolver. Otherwise, a lot of the stuff's pretty filled in. I have the somewhat unsavory task of now needing to find the VHS room, which I just do not remember where it is. I'm so sorry. This side room, maybe? No, this is where the blocks came from. I do think it'll be something along those lines. Actually, this is my chance to look for the maze. I forgot. Yeah, this is where you get to the Minotaur's maze. I don't know what effect there is on taking or leaving slabs. It just feels like a thing to do because it punishes you a little bit for doing it. Okay, so we're now under the red maze, and somewhere around here there's a Minotaur. Okay, I gotta get over there at some point. How do I get across this area? The spot on the floor kind of stands out. The controls are wild because some of the mirrors are inverted, which means your controls are inverted. So we're gonna want to go left to leave. Unless I want to go even deeper in. Funnily enough, I'm better at navigating this because of the fact that I've played the other maze too, so I've been through variations of this maze at some point. So I'm trying to reach the middle. Yep. Okay, so what is this? Upside down L thingy. Are these bug report answers? Like, isn't that in Omega? Man, what is this book I'm missing in the middle of all these? Because it feels like I should have it already, given where it's located and how I have everything else around it. Like, so much of everything is filled in that anything that's left now makes me nervous. I must have just not read these all correctly the first time. Nah, they're not Zodiacs. There's something else. Alright, well this is important. I imagine that if I can figure out what these are, it's probably going to be a next episode thing anyway. If I can figure out what these are, then we can probably reach the Minotaur, and I'll have another answer for the other maze. Because I think this headstone is blocking the other staircase, because I fully explored this place without messing it up visually, and I don't think there was another staircase. But when you're underground, there's clearly more down there, so we've got some figuring out to do.